because you mentioned Cody Bellinger earlier. So
Yes.
let's go back to this conversation. So Kyle Tucker, the Cubs get him from the Astros. The Cubs, they deal Bellinger to the Yankees. Which team benefits more in this whole situation?
It it is tough. It's close. I mean, they're both great players. They're both great outfielders. They're both good hitters. As of this moment, because Bellinger's an MVP, rookie of the year, Tucker is not. But as of this moment, I would say we benefited from last season. Tucker has better average, better slug, and a better OPS and homers. He led him in every other category in hitting. Now you take the balance of who's better fielding, who's better hitting. I think Cody might be a slightly better fielder, but Tucker has a good fielding as well. And Tucker's WAR, the way he helps his team out, and the way he hits with runners in scoring position, will help what the Cubs were struggling in the end last season. That's what I think will get us over the hump. But honestly, I think it benefited both teams in their own separate ways. But I feel like in our perspective, because we're Cubs fans, I feel like it helped us a lot because Cody had not a down year, but it wasn't the same as he had since the previous, with his average being at an all-time high. He had a decent amount of homers and he had a good slug. So, like I said, it's going to benefit the Yankees with Bellinger because of short porch. They need outfield help. So, in their perspective, it helps them. In ours, it helps ours. So, I would say that we got a good deal. I think it's more of the steal of the trades that we got for him. Hopefully, the Cubs will extend him during this trade deadline or even at the end of the year.
He's on a 1 year
But
contract right now, right?
correct, 17.5 million, if I'm not mistaken. So it just again playing at Wrigley is tough because the wind, the day games, the atmosphere sometimes it gets a little get a little pressure for him. So we'll see how the ballpark treats us this year. I know last year was tough because there's a stat that said like this year was one of the worst years to hit at not worst years, but one of the toughest years to hit at Wrigley because the wind kept blowing in, which reduced our home runs. So I feel like where Tucker plays and how he's in the outfield, he'll play in right. I think he's a much better right fielder than Suzuki. I will definitely help, but I think it has benefit us. And I think as of right now, the Cubs got the better benefit of the doubt with this trade or
I
swap.
I agree with that part of it, but I think Tucker's a better fielder, in my opinion. I think Kyle Tucker is a little bit faster, and also he's a little bit more athletic than Bellinger, in my personal opinion. And like you said, he's a better hitter. In 78 games last year, he was actually very impressive. I mean, he had a 993 OPS. That is insane for only
Yeah,
playing
that's what I have to.
78
Yeah.
games. That is absurd. And he batted 289 with 23 homers in
Yep.
78 games. He almost hit more home runs than he did in 2023 in literally half the amount of games. So last year, if you think about it, Kyle Tucker was on pace to have an MVP caliber season. If you
I
really
agree.
look at his totality and what if he didn't get hurt, he would have had an MVP type season last year. And I think it's not even close for who won this or not. I think the Yankees, honestly, they're kind of in their whole other like we're gonna try to replace Soto type of thing, which
Right.
that's okay. I mean, the Yankees did get Bellinger. They also did get Paul Goldschmidt. Now I know he is 37 years old, but Paul
Yeah.
Goldschmidt can still hit the ball for power. He still is an elite hitter when he is healthy, in my opinion. I know he's not, the MVP Goldschmidt that we all used to see on the Cardinals. But I think the Yankees getting those two guys is very important. But I think for the Cubs, it was just such a bigger deal because Chicago Cubs were 17th in Major League Baseball in batting average. And just
Yeah.
with Tucker in that lineup, I think that's going to exponentially help the Cubs. I mean, we're a favorite to win the NL Central for a reason. It's because of this man. He's like top 6 in the MVP conversation going into the year. I mean,
He's a
that's how good this man is.
he's a really good player, and the reason why I said it was so close is because I still like Cody. And the thing with me is I think Cody might be a little more athletic. In my opinion, I think he had the injuries might have hurt him a bit. He had a couple.
But I also don't think Cody's as consistent because I think Tucker has been way more consistent throughout his career than Bellinger has. Because we've seen Bellinger win the MVP as a Dodger and then the very next year have like his worst season ever. We've seen that many times. You just explained. He was batting .300 last year. His average dropped. He wasn't hitting as many homers. His slugging was low. So, like, that's kind of a blueprint that we've already seen with Cody Bellinger. And with Kyle Tucker, you're going to get consistency. And that's exactly what the Cubs have been lacking the last couple years, especially on offense, because the Chicago Cubs have the defense. We're one of the best defensive teams in baseball the last 2 years. We have guys that can make plays, and we have good pitching this year.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my